Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Experience NXT Vengeance Day post show. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, but welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. We hope you guys are doing good out there and safe in these pretty tough times in our country. But we're here to entertain. But you already know me. I'm Drew. I'm Drew Yarihausen, and with me as always for these shows.
Very nice, very evil, dose evil.
Nice, nice, nice.
Or evil dose
Uh,
nice.
how you been? How have you been, Evil Dosehausen?
I've been okay. I mean, I'm living the same shit you are, but um, I was going to say not as close as you, but actually, that's not entirely true. Probably not as close as you, but I don't know. Not that further.
Right. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been
We both
living.
have Latinas in our lives.
We do.
Uh, we're both have ties to the Middle East, Near East, Asia Minor.
Hmm.
Um, you have not been outspokenly political until recently. Didn't know you had it in you. Pretty excited to see it.
Well,
Um,
it's one of those things of just like I can only live in my bubble for so long until somebody just pops it. You know,
it's
I I kind of
listen.
have.
I admire that you were able to stay in the bubble that long, and that it was strong enough for that long. Not me, but good on you. And it doesn't hurt that I agree with most of your positions. So either, but you're right. We're here to entertain and to criticize and nitpick and praise and do all things we do about wrestling.
Wrestling. And just to kind of finish up the political side, and then we'll get to wrestling. I promise. Um, I'm neither side because I said it before. Both sides are right, but they're also wrong. I'm just on the side of common sense and human decency. That's all. But that's enough for the.
That's a
What's that?
side. That's a side. That is a side with most things. Doesn't mean it has to be about everything. That's the difference between being a partisan and being a person of conscience and a person that has independent thoughts. And I I actually truly believe that most issues in this country on broad sweeping items are 80-20. I think when it gets into the granular details, maybe it gets closer to 65-35, but somewhere between that 65 and 80, there's plenty of room for compromise that most of us could live with. And it's that other 20 to 30% that are ruining a lot of things. And there's no easy fix for it, but it's good to see that bubblers are being popped and people's minds are being changed, and people who were acolytes are not acolytes, and but I don't know. It's a war. It's serious. It's obviously an American. I want Americans to be okay. I want America to prevail. I want America's friends to prevail. The world would be a very better place with a free Iran, um, and one that was close to a democracy, if not a democracy, but
Mhm.
just say more passive Iran. The world would also be a better place with a more passive U.S. I don't think anyone really wanted this kind of muscular policy.
Mhm.
I mean, the funniest thing is that John Bolton must be the most conflicted person on earth because he's actually being pursued by the Trump Justice Department for violating national security protocols. Meanwhile, his entire life is dedicated to toppling Iran, and he was in the Trump administration advocating for that. So, like, finally, his dreams come true from his nightmare guy. So, I don't know. Political irony is probably not what the NXT PLE review audience was looking for from us.
No, they want to hear us talk about some wrestling, but
Yeah, let's do
we
it.
had to
Get me on
we
track.
we, ha- we had to get the real world topics out of the way, just because we
Yeah.
can't avoid it. But
And
let's
honestly,
talk
there's been
about.
like nothing good on TV. Like I've tried like 18 different Netflix and different series, and like everything's like I get to episode 3, and I'm just like, nah, this ain't it.
Well, the new season of Paradise is out.
Yeah, but I only have the discount Hulu, so I have to wait for it either to come on ABC or wait for it to go on my discount Hulu. But I did like Paradise. I did actually like that. Uh, but I don't know. I'm. This has been a week for the consumers to win a little bit, and that ESPN folded, and ESPN Plus is now free to most of us who we were told it was going to be free to all along, and then we're told no, it's not. So they caved. So that's good. I guess that was last week. But of course, none of us know what the hell's going to happen with the Paramount, Warner Brothers crap, except that there's going to be a lot of layoffs, and the layoffs will not account for the cost cutting that they hope it is, because it never is. I'm sure they factored into efficiencies from AI that haven't even been tested or established yet. Anyway, but yeah, that's Jeff's entertainment report,
and that's what the people want. All right, so let's get on with NXT Vengeance Day 2026. Was at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. And there were 5 matches, the way it should be. So let's start out with the first, which was a street fight between Blake Monroe and Jada Parker. This is fun. I mean, some things were a little, I guess, far-fetched, convoluted, if that's the best way to put it. I don't know, in these like street fights, and it's not even like a woman thing. I would say the same thing about men too. It's like we're gonna beat the shit out of each other and punch each other in the face with these like harmful weapons that could possibly kill a man, and we're still gonna kick out at too. So I don't know. It's wrestling, so I gotta get sometimes I gotta get used to it, but it's just like I don't know. But I thought it was fun. I obviously like both women. Blake won by DDTing, or first she threw Jada, I'm sorry, on a pile of diamonds, which I kind of thought, does it actually hurt to fall on a pile of diamonds?
Well, especially since they were, fake diamonds, plastic, crystal, zirconia. But diamonds are the hardest substance on earth, and if they were diamonds of that size, sure, it would hurt. I mean, it'd be like falling on a pile of, rocks.
Okay. I ask because I honestly don't know these things. I'm not.
I mean, I don't know that throwing 5 of them towards your face very softly would cause the same reaction that that Leslie Nielsen encountered in The Naked Gun when a pillow hit him in the face. He's like, ah, ah, ah. Actually, I have a pillow. I could do it. I could do it. Ah, ah, ah. But
yeah. Jeff brings the entertainment, the politics, and the laughs. He's a triple threat.
I've been told it's off-putting. So what do I know?
Never change. But no. Again, the crowd seemed to be into it. So what I know, but I didn't hate it. I kind of liked it. But Blake won.
Indeed, you did. I guess I should have expected it with all gimmick matches, and nobody ever announced anything otherwise. But I was a little disappointed that this was in the Performance Center before, like the same 300 people that we always see. Okay, if you're going to have a street fight and you have another match where people are actually waiting for each other outside and like everyone's gathered around the parking lot to go fight in the street, and yours isn't in the street, it doesn't feel like a street fight. So I thought that was just a mistake to put both matches on the same card or to set them up that way. But I'm going to go with mistake to put both matches on the same card, or at least with this type of stipulation. I don't find street fights to be generally that interesting when it's tables, chairs, kendo sticks, and X. The failed brick was okay, but I mean, no fire extinguisher, no crowbar, no baseball bats, no one brought their own kind of weapon, no chain, no brass knuckles. I mean, it's a street fight and nobody came with weapons, I mean, and I'm sort of over those like triple recycled aluminum garbage cans that are less heavy than like the tins that you put your leftover lasagna in when you're, ambitious enough to actually heat it up in the oven as opposed to 90 seconds in the microwave. I didn't love this match. I like both ladies. I like Jada Parker a lot. I think she has like all the intangibles. She's got great charisma. She definitely is like super attractive to like, there's like people that like love, that body type. She seems like she looks like she has a natural body. Like, I don't think she's had work done to her figure. I don't know about her face now, but she's beautiful. She speaks well. She does. I mean, she's got the natural swagger. I like Blake Monroe. I like Mariah May. I think it's interesting that she keeps trying to put herself into this tough girl, sort of like beautiful demon kind of act, which strangely works better than Julia, who goes by Beautiful Madness, and maybe she should trade with Blake. I don't know. But this match didn't feel hardcore to me. It felt like a very Disney-fied version of hardcore. So this match really sort of missed for me. I'm fine with the outcome. Blake needed the win more than Jada. Both could be elevated to the main roster at any time, but I think Blake needs to have a little bit more success down there. Jada, they could put her on the main roster right now, and it would be fine. She's been in 2 of the last 3 Royal Rumbles, maybe 3 of the last 4 even. So I mean, obviously she's on the cusp. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people that are still in the NXT that are getting main roster contracts. I mean, Lola Vice driving a Porsche SUV. Come on now.
Well, I mean, she's like Mrs. AAA, so is Ethan Page.
Yeah, no, they're definitely making main roster money.
Right. Yeah, just you brought up an interesting point, and this segues into the next match. You had Dion Lennox in the parking lot, and you had a bunch of people surrounding him, ready for a fight. And I'm like, so is this a street fight too? Is this a parking lot brawl? Because I didn't hear about it being one. And it was him and Tony D'Angelo, which Tony D'Angelo, I guess, had like a psych out where somebody showed up in a car, and I could tell right away. I'm like, okay, that's not Tony D'Angelo. And then they thought it was Tony D'Angelo, and it was just a bald guy. And then Tony sneaks up behind him and just beats the shit out of all of them.
It would have been funny if it was the same guys that they put under the mask, from the Vision.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, why are these masked guys bothering us? We didn't do anything to Seth. Right. Seth's like, fuck you, that's why.
That's right.
But no, I actually like the beginning of this match because it was exciting. I like a little chaos, especially when like the point of the feud is Tony D'Angelo wants to take out everybody in Dark State. So if it was just like a straight up wrestling match, I would have been, if it started off with like a tie up, I would have been like, that's not angry enough. But no, I like the beginning when they were just beating the shit out of each other. It's just a little confusing, like you said, where like the previous match is supposed to be a street fight and just felt very, as Ruben says on the show, Sesame Street safe. And
that's a great word. That's actually, I like that better than Disney-fied.
Yeah, like Ruben says, Paul Levesque booking is just Sesame Street safe. Whereas the beginning of this match actually had a little edge to it, had a little panache, as the
this was a street fight. This started as a street fight, like in the street, in the warehouse, in all the back, the unsexy parts of the performance center, like the warehouse part, the storage parts, the garage, the loading docks. I thought the beginning of this match was great. I actually thought this whole match was great. And
yeah,
I have to be honest, like I sort of always give Dion Lennox sort of short shrift. I sort of liked his nerdy thing where all the girls like him. I fall for that gimmick every time. I liked it when Ivar during COVID, all the girls thought he was hot and they didn't like the Street Profits, or what's the other one? Eric. But they all thought Ivar and his chicken leg was funny. I like Sexy Otis. I mean, whenever there's that sort of silly gimmick, I like it. But he works. Like I don't know that he's ever going to be the star that people see him as, or and by people, I guess I mean people in NXT and WWE. But he can work. The only question I have is I thought it was really clever that Tony took him into the garage, took down the garage door, and Dark State couldn't get in. But then Osiris and Saquon get in. What happened to Brandon Cutler? Where did Brandon Cutler disappear to? I mean, what? I mean, did the ninjas attack Samoa Joe get him too? I mean, is he in the ambulance with Shaquille O'Neal? I mean, oh wait, not Brandon Cutler. Cutler James? What's his name?
Cutler James, yeah.
Cutler James, right? Brandon Cutler is the dummy from AEW that somehow has had a job for 8 years. Probably makes like $1.2 million a year. Anyway,
well, he knows the Bucks, so yeah.
Yeah, he sure does. I mean, yeah, he knows the Bucks. Pun.
Shit, I want that kind of money.
There was some point in this match where all of a sudden I was distracted for like a full 3.5 minutes. That all of a sudden, like, Tony D'Angelo had Haku hair. Like, I mean, I'm like, wait, when did Carrot Top get here? I'm like, what is happening here? But once I got past that, I can enjoy it. But we should either always see that from now on or never see that again.
Yeah, like I like Tony D. I like this new character. I like Savage Tony D'Angelo. Like you just said, I like Haku Tony D'Angelo. I want to see more of that. Dion Lennox, kind of like you, I've kind of given him a little hard time because it's just like, how is it he goes from being this like his gimmick was that he read books and the ladies loved him to now all of a sudden he's this badass.
That was my gimmick too. It ended my first marriage.
But no, I thought he looked good out there. I mean, I think he's very talented, obviously. Not taking away from his talent, but like, I thought he looked good out there. I really, really liked this match. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I don't see him as the leader of the group. Like, I think he's miscast there. I could see him as the Tully. I don't see him as the Rick.
Yeah, good point. But no, I think what made this match interesting was that it began in a way we didn't think it would, because we thought it was a street fight, but then it ended. But then, like, the referee started counting 1, 2. I'm like, wait, this isn't a street fight.
Right, but it made the street fight look sort of even lamer in comparison. And I didn't love the street fight either. I mean, I appreciated that at least they did something that was, sort of about Blake Monroe in the bag. It wasn't Legos, it wasn't thumbtacks or whatever. It was, fake diamonds or real diamonds. Though if you had that many real diamonds, you could, like, live in, the blacks. Well, we probably wouldn't pick the Black Sea at this point, but you could, and I don't want to say private island. You could live in the Ritz-Carlton Kauai for the rest of your life just fine with those diamonds, if you had that many diamonds. But I appreciate that little toleration. But aside from, I mean, those two matches were night and day. I mean, this match was excellent. I mean, this was my match tonight. It started different. It was fun. So again, I think it was just a booking mistake. I think if they weren't back to back, I would have been like you with the first match. Would have been like, it was okay. I mean, I didn't love it, but it was fine. The ladies worked. They both look good. I don't really think Jada lost anything. Blake, is obviously the one they need to make a star in NXT. They don't need to make Jada a star in NXT, if that makes any sense. But it paled in comparison to this. And neither one of them, showed off Haku hair. So
I love it. All right. So moving on to the next match you had for the NXT Women's North American Championship. You had Tatum Paxley you had Izzy Dane defend the North American Championship against Tatum Paxley. Again, I didn't think this match was bad. I thought it was very good. The crowd seemed to be into it. Both women seem to work well together. They seem to have good chemistry. I believe this is like their first actual match against each other. I guess what I mean, I was gonna say I didn't have any expectations. I didn't have any expectations for Tatum to win, because with Tatum, and yeah, she won the NXT Women's Championship, but that we kind of figured where that was going to go. That lasted as long as it did. I was just assuming they're just going to keep it on Izzy, just so they can build her up. And with Tatum, it just always seems like always a bridesmaid, never a bride. And when she became a bride, it didn't last that long. And, granted, funny I say that she actually is married in real life to Big Body Javi, which they seem like nice people.
Well, he's now Metalcore Javi, so...
Nice.
Or whatever his real name is. Maybe Javier is his real name.
but like as far as like a push goes, like this actually felt more genuine to give her a title run. So
Yeah.
that last one just seemed like, hey, we want a moment. And Shawn Michaels' booking is like up and down because he has moments of brilliance most of the time. But then every now and then it seems like he wants to have a big moment for the sake of having a big moment. And that just doesn't make any sense.
It was a surprise. I think every now and then you need to have just an absolute shock, and that was an absolute shock. Though I picked it, but I'm known to pick long shots just so I can say I'm the one who picked it. But I had a hunch about it. But I mean, that's not to say that you don't always have hunches on your picks. I mean, you generally know which ones are risky. But yeah, I thought this match was fine. It was good. I mean, I don't know what story they were trying to tell in the match, other than both women were going to beat the hell out of each other, and neither one is going to give up. So they're both tough. I mean, the thing is, you should think that they should come out of this with mutual respect, but they've been down that road before. So I thought the match was a little bit too long, and there should have been a little bit more involvement from the culling. With maybe more of the backfire, that maybe they think they backed the wrong horse, and maybe I don't know, maybe they just move on from this, but maybe the story would have been that the culling is like they're talking nice to Izzy to her face, but behind back there they're trying to woo back Tatum, saying, listen, we backed the wrong horse, or we always believed in you, Tatum. This was a test and you passed it. We never believed in Izzy. We always believed in you, and see if they could lure her again. But I don't know, what's the end game with that? Men against women in a match, so probably nothing. But that's I thought this match was fine. This whole show felt like a really, really good episode of NXT. As far as a PLE was concerned, it's a PLE that was in the Performance Center, where they weren't trying to sell tickets. So, I mean, I guess we should have expected, and Stand and Delivers in 2 weeks, a month, something like that.
April 7th, I think, or April 4th.
So I guess 4 weeks away. So I guess we shouldn't have expected way too much, but obviously at the end is when you traditionally do your scores and overall grades. So I guess I'll probably teased a little bit, but I'll stop right there and wait till the end. But yeah, I thought the match was fine, and I thought Tatum was going to win, and she has another title. Now she's like the People's North American Women's Champion, and I don't know. I guess she'll do an open challenge thing, or I don't know what she's going to do. I don't, Izzy accidentally, popped Shawn Spears once, but sometimes those things have consequences. Sometimes they don't.
No, I was mostly agreeing with what you said. Like, this just felt like an overly produced NXT on Tuesdays. I'm surprised they didn't like try to go somewhere else. Like, at least like go like a smaller venue like they usually do with NXT shows.
Yeah. In Orlando. They've got plenty.
Or Tampa or Miami. I don't know. But
Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, true. But
Florida is very easy to get around.
I mean, it's like a hotbed for wrestling venues.
The I-4 corridor, there's probably more wrestlers per capita on the I-4 corridor in Florida than there is any place else in the world.
Or Jacksonville, but that will be forbidden land.
Yep.
But and then other stuff that happened on the show, you had Lexis King's group wanting to invite Charlie Dempsey, and then Charlie Dempsey says no. I'll do a no quarter catch crew reunion on Tuesday, which means one thing: he's going to totally join his group on Tuesday. Hold on, give me 1 second. Gotta respond to it. My wife is texting me.
Oh, okay, all right, that's great, Ray. Well, I will say that poor Tavion, because I really thought that like this was going to be his breakout year, and it doesn't really seem like it, at least not yet. He's someone that I think has a lot of potential, and right now the NXT men's division sort of lame, and I think this would be a good place if they're going to push somebody. You could push him, and it would be a total surprise. But they seem to be involved with other folks instead. I mean, I think a lot of people expect that Charlie is going to turn on him and ultimately join this Birthright group or whatever it's called. I have zero interest in the Birthright group. The only draw to me is that it's more screen time for Ariana Grace, who looks spectacular. But
Mm-hmm.
these other guys, Uriah Connors, if I was Fit Finley, I'd be embarrassed that that's what my son looks like. He can actually wrestle. He looks like a meth dealer. I mean,
He looks like Colin Delaney with a mustache.
yeah, well, at least Colin Delaney is an actor, not a professional athlete. I mean, and I think I've seen Colin Delaney in his younger days get pretty buff for a role. And this kid's been raised to wrestle, and he looks like he barely exercises. He looks like just like he's like been like a kid that like sold meth and played basketball all his life, and had some muscles but not really. And Stacks, I've never really liked Stacks. I mean, God bless him. He's engaged to Ariana, so there's obviously something there in NXT Love Island / Bible study where all the good kids find each other. Lexus King, I know people want to like him. I mean, at least he has a character. At least he's obnoxious looking and whatever and punchable. He's a I haven't seen much improvement from him, to be frank. I mean, I'm one of like the like 30,000 people that watch and cover Evolve, and when he went to Evolve and had a match with Sean Legacy made Lexus King look like a slow play. It looked like he was wrestling King Kong Bundy. I mean, Sean Legacy was so much more advanced than Lexus King was. So again, whatever. If this is a vehicle to get Tavion over, that's great. But why do you create a new faction to get, a face who's alone over? And more Anna Grace on the screen, great. As far as the rest of it, okay. I mean, I thought that the 3 segments were good, but I think that they should. I mean, I don't know why they did 3 matches, then these 3 segments, then back to matches again. I think they should have interspersed them a little bit more throughout. Scattered them throughout the show.
Yeah, like there was a point where they just were promoting Evolve for like a good 2 or 3 minutes, which is fine because that's a part of the show.
I didn't see any promotion of Evolve, but I'm on Peacock. You're probably on Netflix.
No, I was on Peacock, dude.
Really, I didn't see it. Maybe that's when I left the room. I mean,
yeah, they were promoting Evolve. It was the dude that Thea Hale's dating. Forget his name.
Harlem Lewis.
Black wrestler. He has like his whole shtick is that he wears like fashion, like he wears his own clothes or something like
that. We talking about Anthony Luke?
Not Anthony.
Oh, it's like Cam Hendricks. He goes by now.
Oh no, he's like a little skinny black guy with braids. Not Eli
Cappuccino Jones.
Not Cappuccino Jones.
Well, Eli Knight is in NXT now.
It's probably Cappuccino Jones. I don't know, but he goes by
Trill London. He's
Trill. There you go.
Yeah.
And girl, I forget her name.
And girl. Okay.
And girl.
Well, if anyone has any questions about Evolve, most of the Evolve roster was acting as the lumberjacks around NXT Underground. So, but yeah, I mean, we had a promo segment from OTM. I think this was their best promo ever. They knocked it out of the park. They looked intense. They looked scary. Somehow they're the faces in this, but this was the most Road Warriors I've ever seen them look. Really excited for those guys. They look good. Veins were popping. I loved how Primo interspersed the Spanish in there with the English. It didn't feel like the Spanish was a crutch. It felt like it was emphasis. They played off. Their timing it felt so natural. You know how like Dark State, they tried to like go off each other on, one stops and the other starts, like they're like NWA in a video, but it sounds so canned and artificial. This felt real. This felt real. That's what I like about Jada Parker too. She feels real. I mean, and like it's wrestling. None of them are any more real than the other. So it's just an ability to feel authentic. But I thought this was a great promo. I saw you nodding, so I guess that you agree.
No, I agree because like I obviously like Jada Parker. OTM, I'm starting to really, like a lot because they, first of all, I mean, they look like badasses.
Mm-hmm.
I remember RJ saying that he knows one of them, that he like talks to one of them. I think it was not who's the one speaking Spanish.
That's Primo. There's Lucius Price, who said the price today is not guaranteed to be the price tomorrow. I like that. I like that line.
That's a good line. That's a good line. But no, I remember RJ saying that. I think he knows Primo.
Well, RJ, if you're listening, you can let Drew know, and then you can explain to me why you haven't booked him for me as a guest.
RJ knows a lot of people. Like he's got sauces.
RJ has not gotten me a single guest. He pretends he doesn't know me. He's big upping me, all of that stuff. It's all right. Nobody helps me. Nobody. It's not just him. Don't worry, RJ. It's not just you. It's everybody.
He's a big time in this.
I'm actually in Orlando meeting people to go to the MLW show. And one of the people I meet goes, "Oh, I had lunch today with Odyssey Jones." I'm like, "Why wasn't I invited?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "You think you can book him on the show?" I'll ask. I knew right then he's not going to ask. I mean, it's just nobody cares about me. Nobody.
No, stop. People care. I care.
So then there was the next. Are you Charlotte or Alexa? And then
I'll be Alexa. You can be Charlotte because you're taller.
Nice. We're the same height.
We'll just say you're taller.
Okay. And then we got Fatal Influence go into the ring, and greatness as usual.
Love JC. JC. She cut a really good promo. It was very heartfelt. You could tell there's a lot of emotion there, where she talked about everyone thought I was going to be a transitional champion. There's a point where I looked in the locker room, I couldn't recognize anyone because people were gone. And she, talking about Mandy, talking about Gigi, and now she's the star. And I've always been someone, and people can look up old shows, when Toxic Attraction.
Face you too.
Yeah, when Toxic Attraction was out, I was always saying Mandy is obviously the star for obvious reasons. Everyone liked Gigi for obvious reasons. I was always like, JC is right there. She's the star. She's your star. And look where she's at now. She's the champ. And she's done a great job as the champion. She has been holding down the fort. She's been pretty much carrying that women's division. And she always consistently has very good matches. She cuts very good promos. She's believable. She has that good bitchy face. I probably shouldn't call her a bitch, but she has that good resting bee face. I'll just say that. And I love me some JC.
Right. It's like she's got the attitude that she's entitled, but she didn't come from wealth, kind of thing. It's like she got it the hard way, and she knows she got it. But she's not exactly a chicken shit heel, but they're kind of affectionate chicken shit heels, but they're sort of conniving heels. I don't know. It's funny. It's a good group. It's a good act. They work well together. They look good together. The only drawback to it is that Fallon, who I think is spectacular, literally takes a back seat in it, and I understand why entirely. And there's no reason to ever really run that as a feud, because if it does, it just means that those two ladies will spend another year in NXT when neither of them needs to. Once that feud would start. But yeah, this was good. And then Zarya came out and said what Zarya should be saying, and Sol Ruker came out and what Sol Ruker should be saying, and Robert Stone did what Robert Stone should be saying. The only surprise was that it's not at Stand and Deliver, and it's at Houston, I think 2 weeks before, in 2 Tuesdays from now. I guess I shouldn't have been too surprised, since they are going to a theater in Houston, obviously, since it's not Orlando. So they want to have a big match with a big expectation to, sell whatever it is, the 1,300 tickets or 1,900 tickets they need to sell that place. But yeah, and then I'm sure that will set up something big one way or another, probably between Sol and Zarya at Stand and Deliver, which will probably be like a Hell in the Cell or a Last Woman Standing match or something like that. But again, this was a very good NXT show segment. Again, I don't know if it should be a PLE, but at this point in the show, my expectations were already down to, hey, I'm getting an extra episode of NXT this week.
NXT 0.1 with the Cause like the other day we went to the movies to go watch because they were showing Spider-Man 2. So the missus wanted to go because that's her shit.
No, I'm sure that was her idea.
It was both of our ideas. It's a lot of Spider-Man. I'm not gonna hide behind it. But it was 2.1, so it was like extra scenes. So basically, that was just NXT tonight. NXT, 0.1.
Right.
Or whatever.
Did they have one with like Silver Hulk or or Raspberry Hulk?
I mean, there was just like extra scenes. There was one scene that I know was in it, because I never actually saw the 2.0 or 2.1 or whatever the fuck it's called. But there was a scene that I remember seeing a clip for that she saw for the first time, and that actually made me happy. There was a scene where Jameson is actually wearing the Spider-Man suit because like Spider-Man gave up being Peter gave up being Spider-Man because he wanted to live a normal life.
No.
And a homeless man found it and gave it to Jameson. And there's a scene where you just see Jameson like in the Spider-Man suit going with a cigar in his mouth. And Betty's like, "No freaking way." I go, "You seriously never saw that scene before?"
Was it J.K. Simmons?
Yeah, it was J.K. Simmons. Yeah, so
yeah.
It was just amazing in that role. I think he was born for that role.
Good
but what was that?
Good casting.
Yeah, love him. Good actor. But anyways, let's move on to the next match. NXT Underground. Yeah, Lola Vice versus Kalani Jordan. These Underground matches are fun. You kind of already know what you're expecting from them. My only caveat is this is just me being nitpicky. For these matches, shouldn't there be a rule like if you're thrown out of the ring or if your feet touch the ground, you're disqualified?
I don't know. That doesn't concern me. My one caveat is it was way too dark, especially in the beginning. They seem to adjust it a little bit subtly, but in the beginning, I'm like, I can't see anything that's happening. But this was the one match I called wrong because I figured they would protect Lola with the hand, and Kalani sort of needs the win, and Lola sort of missed AAA. But okay. But once I saw Lola's dad and family there, I was like, oh, I'm probably wrong. But then I'm like, well, sometimes it is a swerve. And then I'm like, just stop thinking and watch. I was actually trying to figure out if I knew who everybody was outside the ring. I knew most of them, but I didn't know who all of them were. But for those who don't know who, I mean, obviously you saw Hank and Tank, you saw Cal Dixon, you saw Brooks Johnson. There was Drake Moreau was out there. You had Mason Holiday and Layla Diggs from Evolve. Danny Sigelski was out there from LFG. On security, you saw Braxton Cole from Evolve, Harley Riggins and Cam Hendricks, who was Anthony Luke on well, he is Anthony Luke. He's also Maxine Dupree's husband. He was out there. Tyrus. I don't see Tariq. I saw Malik Blade, who I haven't seen on TV in a year. Dante Chen was out there. Itzgal was there. There were a couple guys I didn't recognize. I think one is Cyrus. A couple guys I just don't know who they were, period. Chris Island was working security. But there were a couple. There was a woman that you could only see her back, and she was in green, and she looked like she was of substantial musculature. I could not place her at all. I don't know that I've ever seen her. I think Wendy Chu was out there. Not 100%. I didn't see Callie Armstrong. I didn't see Kendall Gray. I did see Carly Bright. And I'm sure I'm missing a few, but I don't know that anybody other than me cares, or if you watch Evolve or LFG that you would care at all. Drake Moreau is Roxanne Perez's boyfriend. He was sort of the tall guy that was dressed like a doof with the big red shirt and like the backwards hat like he's Nikki Bella. I thought at first it was Josh Briggs, but it wasn't. Anyway, I thought this match was actually really well done. I thought it was. Yeah. I thought that the booking was good. I thought it made sense, and just because I picked it wrong doesn't mean I don't think it makes sense. I mean, Lola now being 4-0 on Underground, despite what Shayna Baszler training Kalani Jordan, I think it was just fine. And this is like Lola's streak now. This AAA, and now she's got things. She's like building a legacy, or certainly earning that portion she's got there.
No, agreed. I thought this match was fun. I mean, I think the Underground matches are usually fun. Because kind of like with you, it's sometimes it's a little dark, but no, I really did like this match because like I like both women. I like Kalani a little more. I think Kalani is more talented and has more charisma. Lola is going to be in the spot where she's at for obvious reasons, and before anyone calls me a pig, come on. But she's obviously Mrs. AAA. She's in some ways Mrs. NXT. And kind of like how you just pointed out, like she's earned that Porsche that she drives. So, but and it's not to take away from her talent, but I don't know. I like Kalani more. It's just personal preference. But
Kalani is a spectacular looking woman.
Yeah, and she's her. Kind of like her fiance is him. She's her.
Again, they met at NXT Love Island / Bible School, Bible study. Yeah.
Oh man, we're working in the wrong business, my friend. You should.
I don't know. I shouldn't be so persnickety about Genesis and Leviticus and Exodus and Deuteronomy and Judges. I mean, but don't even get me started on Revelation.
Oh man, we're talking about politics and then comic books and wrestling. Now we're talking about religion.
Well, listen, it's NXT Bible study. I mean, they have types there. They have types.
Everybody has a type. Definitely definitely do not throw RJ the Brooklyn Savage at the Performance Center because he'll just run roughshod over there.
Well, I mean, I'd like to see him do that. That would be interesting.
It'd be fun. They don't call him a Savage for nothing. But the main event is for the NXT Championship, the men's. You have Joe Hendry defending against Ricky Saints. The story behind this was Ricky Saints went to Ethan Page and asked him for help. Pretty much said, hey, if you get me, I'll get you. I'll make sure you become a 2-time North American champion. And I can be a 2-time NXT champion. And then it cuts to Ricky Saints going, or not Ricky, Ethan Page going, 2-time.
Yeah, he's having his Bilbo Baggins moments.
Yeah. So, I thought this match was fine. Like, I didn't really expect much out of it. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't like anything to write home about. To be honest, like the last 5 minutes were interesting. Because you had Ethan Page come out and grab the belt, but look at it like, and the whole time Ricky's yelling, I'm like, Ethan, throw me the belt. And then he throws it to him, but then he accidentally throws it towards Joe Hendry, and he's like, oh.
Right, so just putting it in the ring, he shuffleboards it.
Exactly. And then surprise, or no, here's what I did like about the ending is Ricky kicks Joe in the balls, and then he does his tornado DDT, and then Joe kicks out. And then they do the spot where Joe is like, I guess he gets whipped into the corner with the ref. But while the ref's head is down, Joe kicks Ricky in the balls and then gets the pin. What I liked about that is like, I hate stupid baby faces. And this was a good this is a good example of a baby face going, oh, you're going to kick me in the balls. I'm going to kick you in the fucking balls.
Right.
So I like that. And like Joe Hendry, I like when you can put a little bit of dirt on him. And
he needs a little dirt on him because you don't want to just be the singing, smiling, meme guy. You got to be a little bit serious too, and it's hard to get. It's hard. There's not a lot of people who could be goofy and serious. I mean, Kurt Angle's obviously the one who did it the best. I mean, The Rock sort of, but was he being goofy or was he just being like so cocky? It was different. It's hard. I mean, people are probably going to tell me about Mick Foley, but no, he was deranged. It's different.
Eddie Guerrero.
I don't remember that about Eddie Guerrero, but I wasn't really checked into wrestling at the time. So,
well, like he would do the Latino heat stuff, and he'd be goofy and funny, and then when the time came, when it was like a serious feud, a la the stuff with Brock where he cut that promo about addiction, and then when he turned heel on Ray. But yeah,
I just never saw him as goofy. I just saw him as being, swag, like over the top, stereotypical to get the girl. But again, I wasn't that checked in to wrestling. I was just sort of, I was literally just checking in to see what was going on. I wasn't really following it close line. It was like more background noise for me. in any event, I don't know if Joe Hendry can pull it off, but Ethan Page can, though. I mean, Ethan Page is goofy and conniving and you know, and all of those things, but you can believe everything about him. I mean, he wins clean, he wins dirty, he cheats, he doesn't, you know, he makes friends, he betrays friends. I mean, I knew something was up when we never saw Vanity Project in this thing, and I knew that something was going to happen with Ethan Page in it. You know, I thought it would be more eventful than what it was. I don't love Ricky Saints. I didn't love Ricky Starks. I saw what everyone else saw in NWA and said, huh, he could be interesting, but he looks really, really narrow. And everyone else is saying, future world champion. And then he, you know, went to AEW and everyone sort of fell in love with his story. And you know, he had moments there, but it's easier in AEW to be smaller and not look small when you're across the ring from Darby and Orange Cassidy and you know, whatever the case was. And then you gave him a giant and Big Bill and you know, Team Taz was always sort of weird, but you know, Hook was much smaller, and again, he had his giants there as too, and Cage. But then he came to NXT, and I don't know. He just looks to me like a Playgirl model. I don't know. He doesn't look like a professional wrestler to me. I feel like he's like, I don't know, like Zena Sterling feels like more like a Netflix production of Glow Wrestling than an actual Glow wrestler. And I feel Ricky Saints is whatever the male version of that, you know, fake wrestling, maybe heels. You know, you'd see him on heels and he'd be an actor playing a wrestler on there. So I don't care what happened to Ricky Saints. I think last week he looked ridiculous. That segment, which I know was supposed to be purposely bad, but it was just bad. It wasn't entertaining. I don't know. And I think him and Joe Hendry together, Joe Hendry, I wanted to see him in there with someone who's a little bit more serious competitor than I take Ricky Saints. I understand that most people don't see him the same way I do. So they're probably like, oh, you know, great. This is like two of your top guys in NXT right now. I just don't see Ricky Saints as a top guy anywhere.
No, I mean, I said the same thing a few months back with the last PLE that we did. I mean, I like Ricky Saints more than you. I'm happy he's in WWE. I'm happy he's, you know, getting treated a little better. But yeah, I do know he's not the guy. I admitted that, you know, a while back that he's not the guy. He's one of the guys. He's a good hand. He's talented. He can talk. I'd be much more interested to see Joe Hendry versus Ethan Page.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to. I think that Ricky Saints, I mean, you know, I know they don't do it anymore, but I think there's a lot of people who are like okay wrestlers, but are good talkers and have a good look or an interesting look anyway that would make good managers. I mean, I hate Johnny Gargano as a wrestler, but I think he'd be a great manager. He can be funny and chicken shitty and run around like Jimmy Hart, but he could actually take bumps like a wrestler and occasionally give a punch. I think Ricky Saints would be a great manager. He's not that big. You put him in, and if he doesn't feel like he's got to bulk up, believe me, he'd slim down if he needed to. But you put him in a blazer and a shirt with a skinny tie, he will present even skinnier than he is. I mean, I don't know, whatever. It's not important. But I will tell you what I was disappointed about. I was very sure that Tony D was going to come in at the end of the match and destroy Joe Hendry and just say, part one, I told you was taking out Dark State. Part two, I told you I would tell you after it's taking Dark State. Part two is that title. You know, Joe Hendry, I helped you win, but I wasn't doing you any favors. You know, I just figured that's how the show would end, not, you know, Ricky Saints and Ethan Page limping out and Joe Hendry just doing the side to side. And I was sitting there watching. I was watching, you know, executive producers Paul Levesque and Lee Fitting, and then I saw the copyright and trademark thing, and I know that sometimes they've tricked us and it seemed like it was lingering. I'm like, yes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. They're showing them waving side to side because they don't want us to, you know, see the people reacting to somebody coming, and nothing happened.
I was waiting for that too, because like usually that happens, you know, towards the end of these shows, but I guess they want to wait for Tuesday, maybe even like hold it off for a takeover. But
Yeah, or maybe Tony D'Angelo is going to be still pretend he's be a face and be like, I wanted to come at you face to face and tell you like a man that I'm coming for. Maybe a trip. I don't know. Whatever. Like I said, I felt that this match, while there was some clever booking to it, I felt a little bit about it the way I felt about the first match, and that it was sort of Sesame Street safe, and then I got, and my chaotic ending wasn't even. I mean, I didn't even get Vanity Project and their nonsense, and like struggling, if they're going to pick a side with Ethan Page or Ricky Saints, or obviously they already picked their side. They just didn't, we don't know, or Ricky doesn't know, or Ethan doesn't know, whatever. I mean, obviously it would have been Ricky that didn't know. And then no Tony D. I got nothing that I wanted to, none of the overbooking or shenanigan kerfuffles that I wanted to see were there.
No, I agree. But yeah, just the last 5 minutes, like I mentioned, were maybe the most interesting part of the match, but nothing to really send people home going, oh shit. It was more just like, oh, we're gonna end it that way? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if you're watching a horror movie and you're waiting for Jason to kill somebody. Like you're just watching the hot girl, at the house just do her own thing. You're like, you're dead. Jason's coming. Jason's coming. Oh, I guess he's not coming. We're going to move on to the next scene.
Or he does come and he just stabs her and walks away, and then it ends.
He's like, stab. All right, bye. Yeah. Or no, did you ever watch Monarch? The history. There's a scene. It still makes me laugh, where Godzilla just comes through a portal and he just has this very kind of annoyed look on his face, like, okay, I only have 30 seconds of this shit. Make it worth my time. He literally just does this and then leaves. That's basically that's how anticlimactic the end of that show was, where it was just like, okay, nothing. All right.
I agree. Obviously, I agree. I thought the most of the show was actually sort of anticlimactic. I mean, I loved the one match, the Tony D and Dion Lennox. I liked Izzy Dame and Tatum Baxley. It's not like I didn't like the other matches. I just didn't really care that much. I mean, the first match and the last match, the bookends, both of them could be my least favorite match of the night. I don't know what to say. I feel even mediocre about, I didn't hate anything. It's just the only thing I really liked was the Tony D Dion Lennox match.
Yeah, I mean, I guess since we're already segueing into least favorite and favorite, you kind of already said it. I think we're on the same page. I liked Tony D and Dion Lennox because I liked it because it was a match I thought it was going to be, and then it ended up not being that match. But I think that's what made it work, is that you had two guys that just beat the shit out of each other. It seemed like it almost seemed like an old school wrestling match that you would see in the 90s or the 80s, in Memphis or something. And then Tatum's match was good. It wasn't terrible.
It was good.
Long. A little long, like you just said, but good. The other matches, I mean, the Underground match was fun too. I'll say that.
Yeah, Underground was fine.
But the beginning was too safe, Sesame Street safe, as Ruben would say, and the ending was way too safe, way too Sesame Street safe, and I would expect more to Shawn Michaels. But if I had to grade this show, I would say maybe a C, a basic C.
I think that's fair. I think if somebody gave it a lower grade, that would also be fair. I mean, I guess it depends on how badly you wanted to do or watch anything else tonight.
C-.
Yeah, C. But I mean, I could also do C-. I could do D+. I mean, it wasn't a fail, but it was very, very. I mean, I feel like I've given better shows worse grades than C. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a D plus because I think which is basically a 6.8 out of 10 or a 6.7 out of 10. So it's not like I hated it. I didn't really hate anything. I wasn't the first match wasn't nearly brutal enough for me, and it was too cliche. The last match wasn't nearly as chaotic and sort of felt like it was in slow motion to me. The stuff in between, they were all good. And again, Tony D and Dion, I mean, that showed you how good they can be and how brutal it can be. And I mean, that was just so far and away, so different and so much more intense than everything else. At least Izzy and Tatum, you felt like they hated each other, and you could tell it was a grudge match. And I thought that the NXT Underground match was exactly what an Underground match, should or could be. I think it was perfectly good. And the only thing missing was Lola's sister. I mean, so so yeah, in the middle, perfectly good. If it was just those three, I probably would have, given it a much higher grade. Like a if all the matches were the quality of the middle three, I would have given this a much higher grade, but at least a B. But like the show in the beginning left me like, I don't know. I feel like this is like all the things people complain about WWE doing to hardcore matches, and I think at the end, the final match was like, this is everything that people complain about WWE being sort of boring and stale. And the only thing that wasn't is they got a little bit creative with the usual, ball kicks and ref interference or almost getting hurt and the belt. But like I've seen that before too. So it's not like the first time I had seen any of it. So even together. So yeah, I'm going to go with D plus. Sorry.
I might just join you on a D plus. I think I was trying to be too kind. I'm going to say D plus. I can't envision this as a show I'll go back and watch again, or maybe not even remember, by next week. But all right. So next time, NXT Takeover, which is April 7th.
Stand and Deliver.
We will be covering it like we do with all these NXT shows. So, but yeah, people, thank you for joining. Twitter X DY Experience YouTube channel, which you already crossed over to 200 subs. I think we're at.
Look at you.
Yeah, we're at 203 at the moment. Last time I checked, but just support the shows. Obviously, the Experience every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time with myself, Justin, and Ruben, who's now the Tres man of the show.
He's the third.
He's the third man. Who was the third man? It was Ruben.
Wow.
And of course, Friendly Neighborhood Marks with me and RJ. We just did one where we did a MCU bracket. It was kind of like the Sweet 16, but it was 64. So we had a lot of fun with that. 64 movies and TV shows and specials. So it was a lot of fun going through that. And then a new show. What? I'm doing another show? Yeah, I'm doing another show.
What? You're doing another show?
With Joe Punches.
Joe Punches?
Yes, Punches with Lunches is a movie and TV show podcast. Brand new. His idea. He came up with the name. That's going to be like every other week. It's not going to be every week. But
is it at lunchtime?
It actually is at lunchtime because he actually brought bologna sandwiches.
Okay. Well, that's great. But I mean, like, is it like from 12:30 to 1:30?
It's actually, it's I guess more brunch, if it makes sense. But
Okay.
Lunches with Punches sounds better than Brunches with Punches.
I don't know. I like brunches with punches.
But yeah, we did our first
With
episode.
Brunch, the punches can be spiked.
Yeah, true. But we did our first episode this past Tuesday where we talked about Scream 7 and also Oscar predictions.
Oh, wow.
So look that up. And we'll probably do.
I'll tell you one thing about Oscar predictions. Somebody told me I should watch Hamnet, and it's on Peacock. Like, I could swear I've been seeing commercials for it being in the theaters up until like 6 days ago, and now it's on Peacock for free. I put it on last night. I couldn't make it past 30 minutes. I'm like, so whoever you are, don't ever tell me to watch a movie again.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that seems like an Oscar darling.
But yeah, that is why I brought it up. That's exactly right. But oh my god, I mean, so it gets really good after an hour and 47 minutes. Now fuck that, man.
I like how angry you're getting. You're like, no, fuck this movie.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not interested in a 2.5 movie, 20% into it, it's like no, 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 no.
No.
Hamlet,
So
stupid name.
if you had to give like a quick prediction, who do you think is going to win Best Picture?
I don't know who are the nominees. I've seen like no 2025 movies.
Well, Hamnet's nominated. Sinners is nominated. Sinners actually has the most nominations for like any film ever. Marty Supreme.
I liked Sinners, but I sort of feel like it's like maybe the most overrated movie of all time because like I didn't love it and I liked the stuff that was non-vampire better than the vampire stuff.
Yeah,
and I was going to see a vampire movie, so I didn't see Marty Supreme. What else?
F1. I know
Didn't
that
see
was
it.
one of the films. What the fuck did I just? Oh, One Battle After Another.
Okay, so that okay. What else?
Let me just pull up the nominations real quick.
I mean, out of those, I think I'm going to go with Sinners because I think people are going to think that they have to vote for Sinners. Out of those, I mean, I think I did actually enjoy Sinners more, but I think One Battle After Another was more creative and interesting.
No,
It
great.
was just
Go ahead.
It was just hurt by Eddington and Begonia coming out at the same time, which they're not similar movies stylistically at all, but they all had like sort of the same theme that conspiracy theories aren't that crazy because there's some truth to the conspiracy theories, but there's something else bigger that's controlling other things. And it was basically a validation of like Joe Rogan theory in all of them, which I did think the ending to Begonia was actually perfect, but
yeah,
yeah,
I like Begonia. I made my top 10. Begonia, that's also Best Picture. Frankenstein.
That might be the
Secret
most
Agent.
overrated movie of all. Okay, that's more overrated than Sinners.
It was all right.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, everybody loved it. I just thought it was just okay.
It was just okay. I mean, they added very little to the book, and what they added didn't help it. I mean, the most interesting character in the movie was the Russian ship captain.
I just thought the concept of the movie was kind of funny, where it's like, I have a story. No, wait, now I'm gonna tell a story. And then the captain's just listening the whole time.
I know, and the whole thing, it's like he'll gladly sacrifice his icebound crew for this other guy, and I sort of get the class. They're both like upper class people, and so it's sort of like the law of the sea. Basically, is that you save the nobles and everyone else can perish. But when you're icebound and there's a monster coming, I think you want to free the ship. I mean, that's so. I don't know. I didn't dig Sexy Frankenstein. I hate Oscar Isaac. Full disclosure. I cannot stand the guy. I mean, the actor, I have no idea anything else about him. I didn't like him. Like the only thing I liked him in was Ex Machina, and everything else. I'm just like, please, somebody shoot this guy. Yeah, Mia Goth added 0. All right, so I'm gonna say.
I got more. There's a few more.
But what do it used to be 4 or 5 movies, and that was it.
I think it's like 10 now. The Secret Agent.
I never heard of it.
Well, no, that actor apparently was going to win Best Actor. Apparently, Sentimental Value.
I never heard of it.
Train Dreams, which I loved.
Didn't see it.
Me and Joe Punches were bonding over that movie because we feel like we're the only ones that actually watched it. And I'm just gonna say, hey, it seems like a movie maybe you won't like because I know your tastes. I'm just saying, like, it's probably the best, like, cinematography wise, it's the best movie. And
looks like a movie about vagabonds to me.
It's a movie about isolation.
Oh, well, I mean, so is Frankenstein.
This is much better than Frankenstein. Much better. And William H. Macy's in it, so I don't know if that means anything to you. But yeah, if I had to wave a magic wand, I would say I think Sinners is going to win other awards besides Best Picture. I think One Battle After Another is probably going to win Best Picture.
Was Weapons not nominated? Because that was the best movie I saw.
The actress in it, Amy Madigan, she's nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Well, I mean, she should be, but I mean, I thought that movie was exceptional.
I loved it. But no, it's not nominated for Best Picture, unfortunately.
Okay. I think one battle after another, probably, I mean, based on the length and sort of the quirkiness and the story and some of the cinematography was well done. And I mean, I think if I saw it a second time, I would like it more because I couldn't quite figure out like if I'm supposed to laugh, who I'm supposed to take serious, like if it's supposed to be sardonic, that like the young rebels, the people still in the Rebel Alliance are, they're so woke and they need safe spaces and whatever, and and even the old dudes, but but I'm not gonna spend 3 hours. I mean, I thought that who's Madonna's ex-husband? Sean Penn. I thought he was really, really good in that.
He made me laugh with that one scene where he just goes up to Leo and goes, "You like black women? Love them."
Yeah, right. Like and like all he wants to do is fit in with the white supremacists. I mean, with this, that part I didn't like. Is that there was not that he wanted to fit in, that there's like this group of like old white men that really do run everything and can do anything they want. I mean, that's just like it's so trite.
I mean, would you be surprised if that was real?
I would be surprised if that was real. I wouldn't be surprised if that was real, that there were groups of older white men interspersed with groups of others, but they're in competing factions. Like there's no like one cabal. I mean, I'll give an example. Big Pharma and big insurance, both you would think are ruling the world. But if Big Pharma ruled the world, there'd be either no universal healthcare or all universal healthcare because all their shit would be covered. If big insurance ruled the world, none of the stuff the pharma gets away with would happen because they wouldn't want to cover any of that stuff. So they're at loggerheads. They have exactly other interests. I mean, big pharma would love you to be able to stay in the hospital forever. Big insurance would love for there to be euthanasia and death panels. I mean, cut that shit off. Like comorbidities to be a thing again in pre-existing conditions. So I mean, two of the biggest factions out there are at loggerheads, and not just. I mean, then you have real banks versus venture capitalism. I mean, they're not the same. So anyway, so no, I don't think that there's like 10 families or 13 families that I also don't think that anything that purposely attributes itself to a number that was based on Sumerian geometry that we've somehow conscripted into the biblical zodiacs and things, even though the zodiac really shouldn't be biblical at all, has any root in anything more truthful than they figured out how to apportion the sky in a 360-degree sphere, or that sphere circumference.
And that's a nice way to end the show. All right, people. All right, people. We will see y'all next week for the experience and for the other shows popping up. So, Jeff, what are your plugs if you want to plug?
I mean, if you still want to hear from me, you can connect with me on the X at @dose_evil or at Icarus Fell MD. I'm on Facebook under my name. You can find me on the Wrestling Soup Discord. I have a show called Garden of Thought, which sometimes is 2 to 3 shows a week. Sometimes it's just 1 a week. But I released a show today called Emphasis on Ephesus with Bernie Taylor, and we talked about Ephesus and Göbekli Tepe and ancient structures and iconography and how it ties to mythology and history and things like that. For a show recorded with one of my favorites, Professor John White from Crackenford, the great YouTube channel. And And on the wrestling side, I have recent shows with AJ Kazana, just me and AJ from NWA. And the last show with Gospel of Thomas was with O'Shea Edwards. We'll keep working on those. I've been a little lazy lately, to be frank. Tomorrow recording with an archaeologist on Kush and Punt and Nubia, sort of like things that are older than Egypt, or at least Egypt, Old Kingdom. Going to be on the DJ show tomorrow. Sometimes I'm on the Squared Circle with Marie Shadows when we review MLW shows. I think I'm going to be on Pro Wrestling Times, but I think it's going to be a recorded podcast, not as live podcast this week. So I don't know. I'm around. Not as much as I'm not recording as much as I was for a while. I'm on a little bit of a break. Like I said, I'm feeling a little bit lazy. So that seems like a pretty good time to shut up.
I did watch the last MLW show where we saw our good friend Cross become the MLW world champion. And
I talked to his mother.
You did?
Yeah. I actually passed along a message that I hope she passed along, but from our Kevin to her Kevin, that our Kevin would have been very proud of him.
Yeah, he definitely would have. But
for those of you who hate me out there or are sick of tired of hearing me, you might appreciate this, because who I thought was my friend, Super Panda, who his real name, I'm going to break kayfabe because it's not really, it's already broken, is Jet Jansen Rodriguez, and he is the writer, producer, and director of the movie Blue Evening, which Cross was in, and it's getting critical acclaim and being submitted for awards with festivals. He was there in Orlando. He knew I was in Orlando because I texted him the week before, so I'm going to be in Orlando if you want to catch a drink. I'm sure he knew what I was going there for, because I'm sure PJ told him too. He was in the building. He probably saw me. I didn't see him, or I didn't put it together until when I saw the replay on TV, on YouTube, to prepare for Marie's show, because I'm in the audience. You don't see everything. And you don't hear the commentary, and the audio is like TNA audio on TV. So he didn't even come over and say hello. He didn't introduce me to Cross, so betrayed. So Super Panda, not super, not really even a panda. And now on my long list of, my growing list of wrestlers or former wrestlers who I now consider enemies, including Mads Atrocity Cruel Kruger, for agreeing to do a Alien Earth podcast with me and not. And the biggest man who ever lived, Silas Mason, for so yeah, I got Luke Menzies, Rich Allen. I'm like George Costanza's father. I've got a list of grievances.
All right, people, that's a nice way to end the show.
Yeah,
we will see y'all later. Peace out.
Stay with my friends.
How's it?